Good morning, YouTube! What is up, guys? Today we are doing the daily puzzle for October 9th. Let's do it. Alright. So it is white to move. Okay, this is an interesting one. So it's white to move, right? But what do we have here? We have a queen on g8, surprisingly, and a rook attacking it. Oh, whoops. And a rook attacking it. And what can we do about that? Our queen looks pretty trapped. Can we take that rook? Most likely not, as black can recapture with its queen over here. And let's see. Can we block this connection with bishop h6? Not really. You know, what's funny about these tactics is that they show this king and the rook here, and then the tactic ends up being like castle queenside. You just have to assume that they still can castle, and that's really important in studies, by the way. In studies, they might not show you whether the king moved or not, or whether it was in check and it moved or not, and then it went back. You just have to assume that it can always castle if the king and rook are placed on the right squares. But here, I feel like castling is passive. I feel like there's something better. And I think a better move would be to kind of get rid of this queen's protection with the rook. How can we do that? You see this black queen is protecting this rook. How do we get rid of this connection? What we can do is we can play rook takes e6. So notice, we just won a free bishop, but we lost our rook. However, we can win the rook back. Nice. Alright, now there's some important things to look at here. Let's go into the analysis. First of all, I'd like to say there were plenty of options after rook takes e6. There was bishop block, there was king to e7, there was king to b5, and king to c5. Let's go with bishop block. The computer suggests queen g6. Okay, so queen g6, kind of augmenting that pressure on d6. And what else? I guess that's all. Pretty much just building an attack. Our queen was in danger, so we had to move it, and eventually we might have moves. We might consider moves like e5, just augmenting that pressure. All right, so we went over bishop to d6. Now we can go over king to d7, and after king d7, what the computer suggests, rook e8. Now this is an interesting approach because if the rook takes the queen, we promote to a queen. However, we don't want to do that just yet because we want to also protect this rook. If we take this queen, the rook, or black's rook, will simply take the white rook, right? So you have to play the check first, and then we'll be able to promote. What about either of these two squares? Moving to b5 would result in queen to, well, not queen b1, sorry. If king c5 was played, but we'll get back into that later. This is a4 check, king a5, bishop d, or not bishop d2, rook takes a6 first. Then after king takes a6, then we could play knight takes c7, king b6, and now we can play queen g6. Wow. And king a5, queen g5. Okay. Queen f5 and queen takes. Wow. And then this is just prolonging. Oh, why can't I take that? Prolonging the inevitable. There we go. And c5, king to c5 wouldn't look too different from b5. So I'd say we went over that pretty well. Also, you guys might be considering to play this really nice discovered attack as black. You guys might be thinking, there's a rook, bishop, and a queen, right? So if we move the bishop out of the way, we're attacking the queen. But how do we force this bishop to move out of the way and attack that queen simultaneously? I mean, how do we come up with the forcing move, rather? And that is the check, right? Usually, oh, whoops. It's not allowing us to go. Okay, this is strange. Let's just start over. Yeah, okay, now it's letting us. So, there's a check, right? And so you guys might be thinking, well, hey, we're checking the king, and we're also going to win the queen on the next move, so the king has to take, right? Well, not necessarily. There's also knight takes b4, check. And notice now, we're putting the check on black's king instead of on our king. We're putting the check on black's king, and now black has lost, in fact, its rook. However, the computer suggests that we don't play this immediately, as black has the option of knight takes c2 or queen takes f7, which is the promoting pawn. Instead, we could simply play queen check, and after king b5, we can play a4 and go with our attack, continue our attack. Maybe even just promote for the heck of it once we get rid of that rook. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this daily puzzle. It was quite extensive explanation. There were so many options, so many lines to go over, but I wanted to go over every single one of them with you guys so that you fully understand the grasp of it. Please do keep watching, subscribe and like and subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Take care.